There's something uncomfortable most people don't like to admit about investing. Some of the biggest mistakes aren't made by beginners. They aren't made by people who never read a book, never watch the news, or never think deeply about their decisions. They're made by smart people. People who read articles. People who listen to podcasts. People who follow the markets. People who genuinely want to make good decisions. And that's exactly why these mistakes are so dangerous. Because they don't look like mistakes. They look reasonable. They feel logical. They sound intelligent. And often, they're encouraged by the very systems that claim to help us invest better. In this video, we're going to talk about the biggest investing mistakes that even intelligent, thoughtful people continue to make. Not to shame anyone, not to scare you, but to give you clarity. Because once you see these patterns clearly, investing becomes calmer, simpler, and far less emotionally draining. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by investing, unsure whether you're doing the right thing, or quietly frustrated despite doing everything right, then this video is for you. Most people believe investing mistakes come from ignorance, from not knowing enough, from lacking education, but that's rarely the full story. In reality, many investing mistakes come from knowing too much, or at least believing that more knowledge will automatically lead to better outcomes. Smart people are trained to solve problems by analyzing them deeply, by collecting information, by comparing options, by identifying patterns, by optimizing decisions. This works incredibly well in school, careers, engineering, medicine, law, and business. But investing doesn't operate under the same rules. Markets are not exams. They don't reward effort proportionally. They don't care how much research you've done. They don't care how confident you feel. Markets reward behavior, specifically long-term, consistent, emotionally controlled behavior. One of the first and most common mistakes smart people make is overthinking everything. They want to understand every detail. They want to compare every option. So they research, they read, they watch videos, they listen to experts, and then they research some more. They wait for clarity. They wait for certainty. They wait for the perfect moment. But while they're waiting, something quietly slips away. Time. And in investing, time is not just important. Time is the engine. Overthinking creates the illusion of progress, but often leads to paralysis. The real danger of overthinking isn't making the wrong decision. It's making no decision at all, because compounding doesn't wait for confidence. The solution to overthinking is not to stop thinking. It's to simplify the decisions that matter and eliminate the ones that don't. Instead of asking, what is the best investment right now? Ask, what is a strategy one can stick with for decades, even when I'm uncomfortable? Another common mistake smart people make is confusing information with insight. We live in an age of endless data. Market news is available 24 hours a day. Opinions are everywhere. But in investing, more information often leads to worse decisions. Because most information is noise. Another mistake even smart people make is trying to time the market. They don't want to buy at the top. They don't want to look foolish. But markets don't reward comfort. Historically, some of the best long-term investment opportunities appeared during moments of fear and confusion. Another subtle mistake smart investors make is emotional attachment to being right. This attachment turns decisions into identities. The solution is separating who you are from what you decide. Good investors treat decisions as tools, not reflections of intelligence. Another common trap is complexity for the sake of complexity. Smart people often associate complexity with sophistication, but complexity increases the number of decisions you must make. The solution is fewer decisions and clearer rules. Here's the most important reframe. Investing is not a test of intelligence. It's a test of behavior over long periods of uncertainty. The market doesn't need you to be brilliant. It needs you to be steady. The goal is not to be the smartest person in the market. It's to stay invested long enough for the market to work for you.